Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have a special guest joining us from LA. Amy, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us the name of your company.
Absolutely, Harry. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Amy Sylvis. I am the founder and CEO of Sylvis Capital. We buy large commercial real estate investments and invite folks to invest alongside us for passive income. So we own quite a number of real estate properties throughout the United States with our investors.
Wow, so today we're gonna have a beautiful conversation because guess what, Amy? I love real estate.
Terrific.
I love it. Yeah, I love because it makes a lot of money, right? My passion is to have the podcast, and I had business to grow. I'm very passionate. But my first business was in real estate. We managed to sell 5 million, and it's allowed me freedom, right? And an amazing lifestyle. So we're still looking to things into real estate. So tell us your journey, how you end up in real estate. What happened?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question. My story is a bit different. I was actually born with a lung condition called cystic fibrosis. So
Wow.
I was supposed to be around 8 or 9 years old. I'm 43 now. I don't mind telling my age.
Wow, congratulations. That's every day
you.
of your life.
Thank you.
It's a luxury, yeah?
Oh, I'm telling you, to be able to breathe, all of this, it's a
Oh
lung
my
condition.
God.
So when I was growing up, I didn't always know if I would have the ability to work. I was in and out of the hospital, pneumonia. I thought eventually I'd need a lung transplant. So I had to find a way to shift my brain from trading my time for money to earning money that I didn't have to trade my time for. Whether I was on vacation, whether I was in the hospital sick, anything like that, I had to find a way to be able to pay my bills. So I went to school. I thought, oh, getting an advanced degree in the US, an MBA, maybe that would help me earn more money. I could stockpile cash. And then I came across that purple book that some of you may have heard of called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Yes.
Yeah.
And my brain changed.
Absolutely.
Because I come from a middle-class household, right? I don't come from money. I don't come from wealth. Investing wasn't something I was taught. In American schools, investing isn't really taught all that much either. So that's when the journey began. And along the way, I got a miracle medication 5 years ago. My health is restored. I'm in great health. And now I have this real estate empire that pays me money when my husband and I travel. We go to American football games. We spend time with family. That's been the journey.
Wow, congratulations. What a wonderful story. And the thing is, like, sometimes, right? Steve Jobs always said that we only can connect the dot backwards, right? And I think that when you're looking for something, and you're looking for a solution, then you see the opportunities different. Yeah, for me, it happened kind of the same, and with the same book. Yeah, from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, because my parents are teachers, right? So all what I listen at home is, well, you need to go to university, and you're gonna have you will find a good job, right? And this was my motto in my house. You go to university, study hard, make sure you get highest marks, right? But then tragic happened. My dad get diagnosed with cancer, and I came here to London, and then I have no money. And I cannot even afford to see my dad. And my dad is facing a large operation. And in that moment of desperation, that book ended up into my lap, the Robert Kiyosaki, and I read it. I couldn't sleep back then. I was so shocked with the whole thing. So I read it in the evening, 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So I closed the book, and as soon as the bank opened, they gave me a loan for £3,000. That was the most that they can let me, because
Yeah.
salary was very short back then. I was working as a bartender here in London,
Wow.
and this is how everything started. After that, we managed to sell over 5 million in this real estate, and I remember that my motto was, I want to make money. I don't want to be in this situation again that some member of my family is not well, and I cannot spend time, and I cannot even help at all, right? Back on the day was my brother who put all the life saving to save my dad's life, and I felt so bad about this. Guess what happened? 1 year after, my mom got sick, even worse, and 1 year, no, 2 years after, my mom got sick, and it was worse to the point
Oh.
that I had to stay away from the business 1 year, and my property business was running autopilot back then. It was doing so well that I was not in the office. I spent 1 year with my mom. We traveled the world. We find the best doctor. We find everything. She's fine now. And I think that if this didn't happen for my dad, maybe I couldn't save my mom. That I was property and real estate what gave me this. So I'm very grateful for that journey and what it brought to my life. Now, here's the thing, Amy. When we started the real estate journey, right? Some people think that, oh, this is easy. You just go to real estate and you just buy a property, you rent expensive, you pay the mortgage, you keep the profit, whatever, and this is how you make money, right? But actually, you need to deliver to have a lot of skills in the game, like negotiation skills, like trying to find the right deal, trying to find the right investor, to build your team around, right? So tell me a little bit more how this process was for you, how you started, and what was the key decision that you took in your business that helped you to excel.
Yes, I love that question because you're right. There are a lot of misconceptions, right? So it's so important to talk about
Absolutely. And if
reality.
you get it wrong with a property, oh boy, 30K, 40K, tell me about
Yes,
it.
yes. So the first step I took was to get a mentor. I wanted to find somebody who was where I wanted to be, not just someone who taught at a university. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I wanted someone with the actual experience. So I hired a mentor, and it wasn't cheap, but it was an investment, right? Some people see it as an expense. I saw it as an investment who could, exactly to your point, teach me how to avoid those costly mistakes, because they can be. So if I can get that information ahead of time, avoid them, I can grow my company much more quickly. But the key turning point is, and I have to admit, I'm an only child. I'm used to doing, something needs to be done. I will do it. I can do it. No problem. As soon as I figured out that real estate is a team sport and that I can work with other people, I have a set of skills. I find other people that have complementary skills, not the same, but complementary. That's when everything took off. That's when the business grew exponentially, and working with others was a game changer.
Yeah, a friend of mine the other day came to me so depressed. Harry, I spent 20K in this property course, and the property course is started in a month time, and my family is telling me off, my wife telling me off. Now I'm even worried myself about this property course and everything, and I'm so concerned. What can I do? And I was telling him, I said, listen, tell everybody to don't worry about it. Okay, everything is gonna be fine. Okay. I told him, worst case scenario, imagine that you don't learn anything out of this course. I asked him, how many people are gonna be with you in this course? He told me, no, we are like 30 people. I said, okay, fine. I said, okay, fine. So imagine that you go to this course and you don't learn anything. Worst case scenario. Yeah. This is what happened. In this classroom, you have 29 more people that invested 20K to receive this knowledge and information. Yeah. This is a very powerful network.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. probably the only one that only have 20K is you. The rest of the 29 people, they have this 20K because they already own a lot of property. They're just going there just to see what they can learn, to make some friends and whatever. Maybe the only broke person there is you. So you know what I mean? So just go there and make friends. And if you and build your network, and you're going to be fine. And the other day he called me and said, Harry, I'm so grateful for your advice. I'm making a lot of friends. I have this deal. Let me tell you something. Look, I'm doing this, and now this guy have commercial, this guy doing this. And he's so excited, right? So there is a lot of misconception about mentoring. Of course, you know, you have to do diligence and
Yes.
see what type of mentor you're gonna choose by the properties and things like that, of course. However, if you want to see all negative, you will see all negative. If you go with the idea that you're going to find everything positive and you're going to make this work no matter what, guess what happened? You're going to make it work. And I think that, boy, if I have mentors back in the day when I started, I didn't even knew what this word meant. You know what I mean? And the trial and error is expensive. It's very expensive when you're building this by your own, and you figure out everything by yourself, especially in property, that when you do a mistake, it's not £1,000 mistake. When you do a mistake in property, it's you take a hit, right? So
Yes.
so where this idea came from, or how do you thought it was a good idea to pay a lot of money to find a mentor? Where that came from? Did you read a book? Did you saw in an advertisement? A friend told you? Your husband encouraged you to do? What happened? Who support you to take this decision? Or from where the inspiration? Or you just take all the money you have and you thought that was a good idea to put it in and to invest it with a stranger? What happened?
Yeah. Well, this is also something I learned from Robert Kiyosaki about having a mentor and going further faster, right? So thankfully, I didn't have to take all the money I had. I was a very good saver. And it's
There you go.
funny enough, my first date with my husband, very, very first date, we're almost coming up on 10 years. We were just talking, getting to know each other. I told him that my goal, because we were talking about goals, we're both goal oriented. I said I wanted to have 2,000 apartment units in 5 years. And he looked at me, he said, "What? I've never heard anyone say anything like that. Are you crazy?" And I said, "Yeah,
That was your goal, yeah?
truly." And I said, "Are you on board? Are you not?" And our second date was at a real estate conference. I said, it was a test. Do you want to come along with me? Do you want to join this journey? Because I was just starting out. So I'm very grateful. I have a very supportive husband, but I think at the beginning he looked at me like, who is this lady in Los Angeles? What does she think she's doing? But here we are 10 years later. And we own an empire. Very proud of that.
It's beautiful. Property is beautiful. It's so great, right? But then, Amy, in order to excel in property, right, there are sometimes these pieces of information or knowledge that they are key, right? For example, a Jewish investor friend of mine, right, he owns a lot of property in US. He also owns a lot of property in UK. And one day I was walking with him, having a drink, and then we passed by here in London, and he showed me something. He told me, "Harry, you see, look." So it was basically one building was this high, another building was this high, yeah, and then it was one house in the middle that was lower. And he
Yes.
told me, "Harry, you see what's happening there? You see this gap there?" So
Yes.
this called air space. So what that means is that if you buy the property, you will be able to apply and you will be able to go higher to the same site that the two property in between. This, the name of this is airspace, and this is something that very little people know. But you will buy the house cheap, then you build, and then you can set the house on top, and you make a lot of money, right? So I mean, it came because after I had my business, I did a lot of networking, and I pretty much know most of everybody here in UK in real estate. Also, United States, I know a lot of people.
Good.
But everybody, right? Everybody have their own strategy, their own piece of information that make that help them to find their niche, to find the strategy that work for them. Yeah. So how you figure out your strategy, because it comes by trial and error, and sometimes it comes by accident. And you say, oh, you know what, this is the strategy I'm gonna do. This one is gonna work for me. You talking about commercial. Commercial is a little bit risky. you need to know where are you going. What are you doing with the commercial? You take the commercial into residential, or what are you doing with these commercial units?
Yes. So
That's what
we
you're
buy,
doing. Commercial to residential.
correct. That's exactly
Wow.
right. So apartment buildings, and then we also do flex industrial. So two different asset classes, but both in the commercial space. But the way I figured out that this is what I wanted to do was simply research, understanding demographic and economic trends. In the United States, the largest generational cohort, called the millennials, are in their peak peak household formation time. And it's expensive to buy. And believe
Absolutely.
it or not, even the millennials that can afford to buy don't want to. They want the flexibility. So understanding, there's a great author called Harry Dent, and he says, demography is destiny. And I've always thought about that quote. So understanding these trends of, oh, okay, folks don't want to buy homes. Our largest demographic group is leaving their parents' home. They're earning more money. They're looking to rent. And yeah, really understanding. And then in the US, there's a huge lack of supply that maybe will be caught up. But even if we start building, Biden recently mentioned a new initiative, it's going to take years and years and years to do.
Absolutely.
So yes, that was the first thing. And then also I want, and I believe people think I'm a little corny, but I can make an impact even while I'm making income. I think I can do good in this world. And I believe that at least on the apartment side, I can treat people very well. I can care for them. I can provide them clean housing that's safe. And so
decent place.
do good for the community. Yes. And while also making myself and my investors money. So
Absolutely.
I can't do that with industrial, but it's a company, right? It's not necessarily people to people. So that was the second way I really investigated what I wanted to do in the space.
Yeah, but Amy, it becomes a little bit what we said because here in London, yeah, for sure in US the same thing, right? Turning a commercial into residential, right? Here in London, sometimes they need it, sometimes they don't need it, sometimes you can do it, sometimes you cannot do it. The government change is you have to be on top of your game in terms of compliance, in terms of what type of deal you take that actually you can do this transition, or is it easy in US is easy this transition, at least in LA, from commercial to residential is at the moment?
Yeah, so we don't do conversion. Sorry for the confusion. We buy existing, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, and we call apartments commercial residential. So that's, that we buy that and we just renovate, make them nicer, do a value add strategy, but we don't do conversions.
You don't do a conversion. You make them better, basically, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. That already existing. Yeah. This here. What happened here in London is that probably in United States something similar is that because of COVID now they have a lot of buildings empty.
Yes.
And a
yes.
lot of people looking for accommodation for apartments, right? So
Yes.
I think that they easy the law a little bit, yeah, and they're giving more opportunity than before. Here in UK, as that was my understanding. I need to look into it deeply, but that was my understanding that now it's more easier to turn a commercial into residential. That's actually very lucrative because you lease in the commercial and then you turn it into a residential. You do the conversion. It's also a great strategy, right? So, but how you started? You started you brought a bunch of investors and you acquired the first building. That's how you did it, or you started by a small block of 6 flats and after you went to bigger. So what happened? How this has happened?
Yes. So I actually started off passively investing in what in the United States is called a syndication. So I wanted to kind of like riding a bike. You can read about how to ride a bike all you want, but you have to get on the bike and ride it.
Of course.
And understand For me, real estate investing is the same. Before I was going to buy my own building, I wanted to find operators that were experienced, that could mentor me. So I invested with them, and then they became my business partners. And then together, we bought my very first project, which was a 58-unit apartment complex in Tennessee. My very first. Yeah, it was fantastic. So I found the property, they brought the capital. And we did that a few more times. And now I can do the whole thing, right? I find the property, I bring the capital, but you have to start small, right? You grow.
Absolutely.
You talk
You
about the
build
bike
your team.
analogy. Yeah, the training wheels, and then you take the training wheels off. And yeah, that's how we.
Amy, so what are you doing? You find deals all over US? I thought that you were doing specifically in LA, right?
Not in LA. Oh, there's no chance I would do it in Los Angeles. No, there's rent control, negative population growth, negative job growth. It's very hard to evict non-paying tenants. So unfortunately, no. We start off with market research, and we measure hundreds and hundreds of data points, including job growth, population growth, net migration, local and state laws, all sorts of data points to make sure we're investing in the best markets in the United States. So currently we have a property in Dallas, Texas, incredible market that we're going to close on 114.
Oh my God, you're going bigger.
Of course. Oh yeah. Actually, this is one of our smaller ones. We have a few that are over 200, 250.
Wow.
Gives us great economies of scale. Full-time maintenance staff, full-time leasing agent, institutional quality property management. There's a lot of benefits to going bigger. A lot of people think, oh, bigger must be harder. It's actually easier in many, many sense. Truly.
And cheaper.
It can be.
Yeah,
it can be.
So then, Amy, so how you build so basically how you build your team is you partner on with people that were doing same strategy, and you become part of that community. You make your contacts, and then after you learn this, you start to source your own deals, right?
That's exactly it. Yes, but I still have business partnerships. They're still the best way for me is to always have complementary people. Again, I think some people think, oh, I want all of the pie myself. I want it all for myself. But I've realized the pie is infinitely big. We don't have to be concerned about we have to have more and so others can't have it. No, we can all grow this pie to as big as we want, and we can all prosper together. So once I figured that out, yes, I formed more and more business partnerships. We find ways we can help each other, and then we all go to the mountaintop together.
It's all about the collective effort, right? When you talk about business, the power is in the collective effort, right? And to surrender this thing, that I want to do everything by yourself. That, sometimes when you start an entrepreneur, we all have that, a little bit of naivety. Oh, I'm going to be this business and I'm going to do everything with myself. I don't trust anybody. Yeah. I was one of those guys at the early of my property business, right? I was like, I don't trust anybody. How am I going to hire people to rent the room for me? What happened if they steal to my tenants? So I have a lot of noise in my head. And once I surrender and let all that go, it worked fantastic. The people that I hired, they were better safe people than me. The people that I have for the maintenance, they were fixing the house better than me. Everybody actually was better than me, all of them, to the point that I was not needed in the office anymore. That's why I could travel to save my mom, right?
That's exactly right. Yes, I love that so much. And I think the more we treat people with kindness and we trust them, and you verify, right? You're not naive.
Of course.
When you put that energy out there of abundance, of community, of partnership, the more it comes back to you. It's really amazing. And I understand, at least stateside, maybe people are a little cautious of this mindset, or they think it's naive, but I've tested it. It works. You just have to be the type of person that you want to attract, and it'll happen.
Yeah. And tell us how victory looks like, right? Because I was once in my house in London, right? And I haven't been in the office for a month, and all this money is coming in, and the whole thing is running an autopilot. And I had that feeling that I was thinking, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe that I did that. I can't believe that this is working so well, and I did that, right? It was a lot of hard work at the beginning, don't get me
Of
wrong.
course.
But how is the taste of victory when you see that all the effort is actually paying off, yeah? And how your husband feel about it, yeah?
Yes. Well, for us, we think about this a little bit differently because since we have investors, we get the feedback of how their lives change once they have income that comes in that they don't have to show up for the office for. And for us, we also have charities we care a lot about that we want to support and help. So my husband comes from East Los Angeles, an area that's not that great. He had programs that helped him, become the man he is today. So writing those checks and supporting organizations like that with our profits means a lot to us. So it really is above and beyond our own kind of benefit. It means so much to us for us to benefit and then for us to bring others along with us. That's where the real taste of victory is for us.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about this. Yeah, my girlfriend Lily, she has a partnership with Marie Diamond for the movie The Secret. They have a movement. The name is Global Conscious Entrepreneur, right? And it's all started that you can make money and do good at the same time, right? And I remember when once I was analyzing in my properties, right? And I'm checking the energy bills, right, from all the property, and it was a lot of money, right? And I look into this, and I asked to my team, how about if we put energy saving in all the houses? And they would tell me, Harry, but this is crazy. You need to put a lot of investment up front, and you have to take a van and change all the light bulbs. You mind the nightmare that you get it into for nothing. But I was thinking that it's also going to be good for the planet. So yeah, I will stretch myself a little bit more, maybe for a couple of months. But if the outcome would be better, then it's something that can, that at least I could do something to reduce the footprint in the energy consumption. This is something that was in my hands to do. And guess what happened? We all the half container, I think, came from China. I don't know from where came. Was a long time ago, talking about 17 years ago. It was half a container of light bulbs.
Wow.
Energy saver, and we changed the whole thing. And from that day, all the bulbs, they were energy saving, and I saved, remember, 30% in the energy consumption. So I'm saving a lot of money, and I'm reducing the impact. So I know that it's possible to build the business, to do good, and also to have an impact out there, right? So so I understand 100% how you and your husband feel every time they give back for the community, because that's the other thing as well, right? We talk about conscious entrepreneur, and people think, oh, just because you doing energy saving, now you're a conscious entrepreneur. But we need to see this more holistic, in a holistic way. It's not only about saving energy, it's about the footprint. It's all about, donating to charity, making impact in the community that you live in. It's also about hiring the people, regardless that they are black, white, Chinese, woman, man, gay, whatever. So it goes into the equation that that if we can raise more awareness about this global conscious entrepreneur movement, I think that we can leave a better planet for the next generation to come. And at the end of the day, part of our cycle as an entrepreneur is also, okay, we can make a lot of money, but what we're gonna do with this money? If we can give back in a positive way, then it's the whole energy. It will come, and guess what? More deals will come to you from that community. They will have a friend, a partner, and say, "Listen, these people are helping us so much. This is how the thing works." It's crazy, right?
It's amazing. I couldn't agree more. And I think that is part of the whole process, is trusting that what you're doing is the right thing and knowing that the kind of like skipping a stone in a lake, you see the reverberations happen, just knowing that that's what's happening from the good energy or good deeds and all of that. And I think that's why I love real estate specifically, because I'm on the same side of the table as my residents. If I treat them better, the better I treat them, the more money I make. Because my largest expense is turnover costs. When my resident leaves and I have to bring in a new resident, replacing the floors, replacing the carpet, painting, all
Painting
that,
the whole
very
thing.
expensive, very expensive. So if I can treat them so well that they don't want to leave, then I'm making their life better, but I'm also making more money, and I'm making more money for my investors. We're all sitting on the same side of the table and our interests are aligned. That is such a powerful business to be in, and why I feel so proud to do what we do.
Yeah, I remember I never forget about this tenant. I used to have a tenant that I think he paid like £800 per month for 15 years. Can you imagine? Can you do that?
Wow. It's a lot.
It was for one large room, yeah. This is in London. This is how, and sometimes entrepreneurs out there on business, they don't understand the long-term value of the customer, and there is that's why I don't know if you guys have that in US, but here in UK, the internet companies, they give you 6 months for free. Switch with me, I give you 6 months for free. I give you so much, and it's not because they are kind. It's because they understand the long-term value of the client. They understand that once you put that internet and that thing works, you're not changing that thing for nothing. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It costs very good, right? So they understand that very well, the long-term value of the client, and that's why they do these offers that you see out there that it seems ridiculous, right? But they understand that once you are in and if they do the job properly and they have good customer service and they look after you, they're gonna make a lot of return in that investment. So what message do you have there for entrepreneurs in general that don't look carefully to the long-term value of the existing clients, and they put all the money, all the resources, just trying to bring more strangers to the business rather than looking after the people that are actually buying?
Yes.
Relationship with. That's very common in business. We see that, right?
It is. No, I think you're very spot on. And I think, for me, the way my mind works, I'm very analytical. So not only is it kind of this abstract theory of, oh, you should treat people well and it'll serve your business well, you can calculate
the numbers. Yeah.
That's exactly it. You can calculate it for your own business and really put dollars and cents to why it's so important to take care of the people that you already have. How much does it take to acquire a customer? How much in advertising? How much in, you pay your employers, whatever that looks like. It's imperative to understand that. And I guarantee you, just as you said, I think for most businesses, you'd be very unwise as an entrepreneur to not take care of and try to retain your current customers. It pays every time.
Yeah, a lot of business out there, all the focus that they are is putting a lot of money, a lot of energy. Let's get more new people. Let's get more new strangers.
Yes.
And the and the customer base that you have already, if you keep them happy, you're sitting in a gold mine. They can give you referrals, which it costs you nothing, right? They can a lot of things can happen. I think one of the great examples of this one is Amazon, right? When in the .com, everybody was trying to survive and get as much clients as possible. The company decided that was a good idea to remove the friction between the 16 client base that they have and give them a great customer service. And guess what? When you are a client from Amazon, a long-term client, you made them a lot of money because people buy a lot in that thing, right? So once they have the client, that's it. You're set up, and probably if you check around, you might find out by Amazon, maybe for a friend told you. You didn't find out this online. A friend told you, listen, look at this thing. You will see information. Yes. And that how the whole thing happened. Now people see Amazon and everybody knows about it, and people think that it came out of the sky. It didn't come out of the sky. They focus in the clients that they have, and they put all the energy, time, money, whatever, to make sure that they have a flawless process.
Yes.
And a very good way that look into businesses, how to help them to grow, right? Rather than put so much money, energy in advertising new things and whatever, is to see how you can improve the experience of the people that you actually have. Because if they're in the large numbers, this is you sitting in a gold mine, right?
That's exactly it. It is a gold mine. I love that visual and thinking of it that way, of really understanding the gold mine that you already have. Maybe, the expression, the grass is always greener. Maybe it feels sexier or more exciting to acquire new people, but yeah, you may be shooting yourself in the foot, to use that expression, if you're neglecting or not really treating your existing customers well. So well said.
Yeah. And then, Amy, what are the 5 steps to make your first million?
Okay, the first step starts here. It's the mindset. Everything happens. You started off this podcast talking about, kind of point of view. I wear glasses sometimes. Mindset is like putting on a set of glasses, right? Do you see the positive? Do you see the negative? You can form your own reality. If you believe you can do something, you will do something. So making sure you've got the right glasses on your head and the right filter through which you see the world is the first and most important thing. I made the mistake of thinking that I needed to learn the tactics, the tools, the strategies. And it's not that that isn't important, but probably like you, I've seen so many people that know how to do the thing, but they don't realize that this is holding them, hostage. They have limiting beliefs. They don't believe in themselves. They have saboteurs in their brain that tell them why something won't work. So starting off there. And then the second, like I mentioned, getting a mentor, getting a coach, being around someone who has been where you, or who is where you want to be, that can outline those steps. As the great Tony Robbins says, right? Success leaves clues. That's how you do it. And then surrounding yourself with community, surrounding yourself with people. We are tribal human beings, right? We used to just live in these groups. And in order to get shelter, get food, get protection, we'd have to become and signal to the group that we were like them. That mentality has not left us as humans. So we still become the people that we spend the most time with. So being around other people who are either where you want to go or who are on the journey with you will supercharge where you want to go. And then, of course, the education piece, right? So making sure that you are listening to podcasts, taking courses, going to conferences, all of these things. And then I would say the last piece is making sure your health is in a good spot. Obviously, I've got a pretty big perspective on that, but I really think keeping our brain in good shape, getting sunlight, getting exercise, eating well, all of this can give us more energy, more vitality to be able to achieve our first million.
Wow, that's fantastic. And let's dig a little bit more in that, Amy, right? Because what do you think about entrepreneurs out there that that they are working so hard on the business, they still haven't cracked the code, they still developing the skill? Because let's face it, it's a skill, like we discussed before. The more you practice, the better you become, right? Mm-hmm. And by now, you have done so many of those deals that the experience that you have in this sector right now is priceless, right? It's not because you are the most smart people in the room, it's because you have done it so many times that now you see the project coming, you already know the data points, and even before you put $1 into the equation, you already know if it's gonna work or not, because you done it several times, so you already develop a skill. So, but what happened, because in that process of developing the skill, depend on the industry that you are and depend how fast, not all of us learn at the same pace. And not all of us are good entrepreneurs. So what happened is that sometimes that frustration that, you're trying to make your product work and you're working really hard, and then, because you're starting the business, you find the wrong client that didn't pay you, or the tenant didn't pay you, or then the investor said they're going to give you the money and they didn't give you the money. And all this negative baggage goes inside your head, right? And it accumulates at some point, that if you don't find a way to canalize this frustration, right, this emotional pain can end up in physical pain. And if you don't work on yourself, there are some people that they are finally multi-millionaires, and then they they have cancer and they die, or they don't talking with the children, or they don't talking with the wife, or they get divorced. I have multi-millionaires that I interview, say, how's your successful life? How you make your million? And they tell me, well, it cost me my wife. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how entrepreneurs can achieve that balance, because they do deserve the best life like everybody else. They deserve to spend time with the family. They deserve to spend time with the people that they love. They deserve the best because they are out there, creating just for the community and taking all the risk. And we see sometimes entrepreneurs battling so hard, trying to make the business work, that they don't look after. They are always angry. They don't even have time to work on themselves because they have to wake up the next day to make that restaurant work or that real estate deal. And the more the work, the less things happen. They are looking for the money desperately, and then the money doesn't come, and all what it brings is frustration, anxiety, and things like that. So how you find out, starting from the point that you started, because you're starting from a point that now every day of your life that you live is full of gratitude, because you were not even counted that you're gonna be on the planet for so long in the first place, right? So
Yes.
based on your story, what message do you have for those entrepreneurs out there that didn't have your health issues, but now they are killing themselves trying to make something work, and probably what they need to do is sit down, breathe in, change the approach, or maybe let it go and say, you know what, this restaurant is not working for me. I'm gonna do this real estate. I'm gonna change the strategy. I'm gonna take the skills that I learned and let me do something else, because I am creating a lot of negative baggage in my mental health that may lead to a physical pain.
Yes.
And this is a real story that we hear time to time from entrepreneurs, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I do think that balance, and I talk to very wealthy people all the time who invest with me. And I think, at least in the United States, we've been sold a bit of a bill of goods, if you will, about what an abundant life means. And money is just the vehicle, to be able to spend the days as we want, with whom we want, doing what we want, where we want, for however long we want. So, and part of that abundance really is that health, whether it's mental health or physical health, and being around people that you want to be around. So I think even a small practice of gratitude and meditation in the morning before you start to work, or again, working with a coach or somebody who can help you see your blind spots, just taking even a small amount of time during the day to really, as you said, whether you need to reset, whether you need to change strategies, whether you need to pivot completely. Part of entrepreneurship is failure, right? And not all of us get it right the first time. I've heard, again, Robert Kiyosaki say, fail faster, because it really is the rite of passage to get to your successful venture. I failed several times myself. So
we
yeah,
all have. I haven't made anyone that tell me, oh, Harry, you know what? I opened my first business and it was amazing, and I didn't make and it didn't fail, if anything. It doesn't work that way.
No.
I haven't met yet any multimillionaire that tell me that, right?
Right. Yeah, and we can start our business over again, but it's really hard to start our health over again, or start our marriage over again.
Exactly.
Right? Yes. So having that balance and knowing that it's possible, because at least in the US, we don't get a lot of examples of people that live a balanced life or who are successful.
Yes, I agree with you. You can do the same thing. So you go to the people and say, listen, you're gonna have this business, and if you get immersed in the first couple of years and you develop the skill, guess what happens? It's gonna pay off big time, and you will be able to live the life that you want, and you can even become an investor. Money can work for you.
Yes.
So people that will listen to you and they think that you're coming from another planet.
True.
They said what? And the price of freedom. Yeah, let's talk about that. That you can wake up and then you only talk with people that you like. You invest with the people that you like. You bring the investors that people that you like. You take the buildings that you like. You use the contractors that you like. How about this life that you actually can choose? When do you want to work, and with who do you want to work, and what community you want to support, right? You are in control, and it's you who choosing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I always, I don't know whether to share the story or not, but I am surprised when I have, on occasion, it doesn't happen very often, but I have some investors that feel entitled to work with me and can treat me any way that they want. And they're a little taken aback by realizing, oh, I don't need every single person's money to invest with me. I am looking to build a relationship of mutual respect. We work together. We have the same values and goals. I have that ability to not just, take whatever comes to me, but really pick and choose who is fulfilling, who I like to talk to, who I know, it would be rewarding for us to work together and build a stronger relationship. So just one of the benefits of what feeds my soul and what is so freeing about, I think being intentional about being an entrepreneur and not just kind of taking whatever comes my way and being grateful, even if I'm treated poorly. That it's just not what we have to do.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, like I said, and you will find the investor that they are right for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that
Yes.
they treat you with respect, that they appreciate you, that
Yes.
and guess what? You're gonna make them a lot of money, so they're gonna be way more happy, and then we recommend you more people that they are like them, right? I think that if we are in the position, it takes a lot of hard work. It doesn't come out of the sky. Yeah, it takes a lot of a lot of work and a lot of mistakes to get to that point, but eventually we are all heading into that direction that we can choose how we want to live our life. How, like for example, like you said, right? Do you want to spend more time with your family? What else can you put into your health to make it better? Because something that you said was very powerful. You can make your money back, but you cannot make your health back. Correct?
It's true.
Definitely, and you've been there since a little child, so you know what you're talking about when I'm talking about. So,
Yeah.
and
You with your parents.
you
You get
exactly,
it.
yeah, and also even more beautiful that it's something. If somebody that you love need help, you can take off, and you don't need to ask anyone. You can
Yes.
take off, look after someone that you love, could be family member, could be a friend, could be whatever, and then come back to your business and running that. That's beautiful, and it seems like a dream. I didn't even know that was possible, but I'm thinking now that if I didn't build my property business, maybe my mom was not alive because my brother could help us when my dad got sick.
Right.
But he took all the life savings and he managed to save it. But this is something that was deal with a month, so my brother could take a month off work and sort out his and help my dad. But my
Right.
mom was different. My mom didn't need a month; it needed a year.
Right.
And it needed now not 10K, it needed now 20 times this money because nobody knew what was wrong. They said the metal went missing into the head, so she couldn't
Oh,
sleep, and nobody knew what's going on, right? And
wow.
and it was tough. Was tough until we actually find out what it was. But it involved a lot of traveling, a lot of doctors. Everybody was seeing my mom in Spain, in UK, you name it, and in Cuba. She was in Cuba, and I still finally we find out, right? So I'm grateful that I built this property business, and I'm grateful for. But they think that business had done maybe not to me financially, but to contribution to the life of my family, the people that I love. So I think that is that energy that the more you put, because if you treat well your clients, your investors, and you do your deals and everything, you're gonna have this positive flow in all your business that is gonna be around this good energy, and that will contribute to your help. Sometimes I do this conference, and and I'm in the metro in London, and somebody, Harry, is that you? You dress in purple? Are you Harry? I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm Harry. I said, man, I hear your conference when the Les Brown that day, and I saw you speak, and you say this, and look, this is my family, this is my children, I built this business, I heard what you say, changed my life, let's take a picture. And then That day, this guy got, I'm thinking, it's unbelievable that something that I say make a huge difference in someone's life. You get paid in better currency than money. You get paid in love, in appreciation, and that'll give you a level of fulfillment that now I don't know when I help people if I'm doing it for them or doing it for me.
Yeah.
The more I help them, the more good vibe and good energy comes to you, and you get paid this other currency that I didn't even know that existed. It's happened
Wow.
by just giving back, right? And I'm sure that you guys, with the job that you do in charity in your communities, you will get that something similar experience as well, right? So it's amazing.
You're making my cheeks hurt from smiling, Harry. I love it. Truly, anyone who's watching the video, I can't stop smiling. You said you get paid in a better currency than money. Wow. I could not agree more. I mean, that really is. And that you say you're not sure if you're doing it for other people or for you. We are designed to be the happiest when we're giving, right? I don't know if you've ever read the book by Bob Berg and John David Mann called The Go-Giver, but what a powerful, powerful book that talks about, if you're looking out for other people's best interests, it's amazing what will happen to you. So if you're solving other people's problems, if you're helping people with what they need to achieve, everything's going to come back to you at magnitudes larger than you can ever imagine. So if you want something in life, I tell my students, get busy helping other people, and what you need will come to you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, Amy, if our entrepreneurs passionate about real estate, they are listening this podcast and they want to know more about to become part of your team or to become part of the investors, or they want to learn the strategies that you're using, maybe they can help you out to find deals all over the United States. So how they can find you and how the process works, how can you help them?
Yes. So I am best found on LinkedIn. I post every single day. I try to add value. I try to educate.
Wow.
Every day. It's so much fun. There are incredible people there that have that go-giver mindset, that love to learn, add, just collaborate, all of that great stuff. And then, of course, my last name is spelled a little funny way, but I'm sure you'll put it in the show notes. SylvisCapital.com is where folks can learn a bit more about us, get in touch, understand how the process works. And love to talk to people, interact, and help as much as I can.
Thank you so much, Amy. This interview has been fantastic. I want to thank you for your time. We know your time is very valuable, and you spend it with our community, sharing valuable information. And honestly, we want more women on the show. Yeah, we want more women, more success story of women, right? Because we want to empower all entrepreneurs out there, females, male, everyone, right? And I think that if the people, our audience there, they can find a role model and social inspiration from you, I think that our job was done. Yeah, probably they will write you one that said, Amy, I listened to this podcast with this guy, look a little bit crazy, Purple Harry. Wow, what you said was amazing. You changed my life, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, we know that our job was done. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Keep doing good, keep helping the community, keep empowering and raising awareness about global conscious entrepreneur. And I think that we can make do business, do good, and make a difference not only for ourselves, but for our community and people around us. Thank you so much. And for you guys following us in the Apple, Spotify, and all our social media, see you in our next episode, where you will find brave entrepreneurs like Amy that broke the wall and achieve the first million, but not only achieving the first million, but also do good and helping the community. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.